this actually brings me to two thoughts that I've had recently. One being, I'm taking this writing course, and in it they're talking about duality of characters. So I was looking at phobias because we had to talk about phobias and like kind of create empathy for an audience based on a phobia, whether we felt it or like have a personal connection. And in this, I was looking through, and I was actually sitting here on the couch, and I was watching my watch later list for YouTube,
Okay.
and happened to be two black centered like things that had come on. One being talking about the loss of black wealth and property and other things due to like basically skeevy white people in the past, like doing underhanded things and taking,
And somewhat in the present.
yes, now, but like it was talking about how we got to this point, like
Yes.
what things were in place to get to this point. And the
Laws and
other
everything,
thing was
yes.
talking about I forgot what the exact name for the museum is, but it has all the racist paraphernalia.
Is that the one that's in Michigan, I think?
Maybe I don't want to say for sure. I
thought it was like a university in Michigan that had
a university definitely has it. I
has
can't
the
remember
largest
what it
trove
was.
of racist paraphernalia.
But I was watching a Vice interview, and they were talking about. So in my head, as I'm looking at the phobias, of course my brain is like, well, yeah, I'm sure there's a name, because I was discussing with someone like how many, like, is there a phobia for everything?
Right.
And I was like, well, in my head, thinking of like how racist the culture is and like where we live. Of course, there's probably a word for like fear of black people.
Yes,
I don't know what it is, but I
probably
can
is.
guess what it was. And it was negrophobia. I looked it up. Don't worry.
Okay, I was about to say that sounds about right. Yeah.
So I was not surprised by it. I mean, I still rolled my negrophobia. I want to make sure I said it right. I wasn't surprised, but I was like, still rolling my eyes. But I was like, okay. And thinking of the time period that we live in right now, is there one for fear of white people? Because I live with that fear every day. White people, white police in general. Like what would, if there's a phobia for everything?
Oh, I had that definitely after watching Get Out.
Right,
I
but
was terrified of white people.
the thing is, like, okay, so there's a lot of black people or people of color out there who are afraid of that. So I was like, there has to be a word. Wrong.
Really?
Wrong.
There is no word for that?
Wait. On Wikipedia, you can find negrophobia. I haven't checked Merriam-Webster. I forgot to do that beforehand. But when looking for what the possibility for the name of the fear of white people, the only thing I could find was on Urban Dictionary.
Oh.
And I think I don't want to say it wrong. It was like, it's a tongue twister too. Caucasiophobia.
Caucasiophobia. Why does it sound pretty?
Right?
It sounds like it should be a star in the sky. Caucasiophobia.
Caucasiophobia. And I was like, and it's only on it's only on Urban Dictionary. And I was like, oh, and that was what got me. I was like, damn, we ain't even at a point yet that we have in the actual, and I mean, if you want to look this up now and see
I
it in
will look it up because I
Merriam-Webster.
got that dictionary on my phone.
Let's check, because I'm just
My
like,
preferred is Oxford because I'm Oxford English Dictionary because I'm bougie like that. But they cost too much money. Anyway.
oh, I was about to say they probably wouldn't have it in there. No offense to Oxford, but
who knows? But we'll try Miriam. It's being a little slow on mine.
Oh, okay.
But hey, here you go. Caucasiophobia, huh?
Just look up fear of white people, see if something pops up on there, because I mean, I'm sure there maybe I was just like searching random words and trying to find it, but that was the only thing that came up when I was looking up fear of white people on Google. Maybe Google was like, she's seen too much, we need to censor this shit. I feel like my phone listens to me enough times that could possibly be true. But I was very surprised. That being said, I digressed a bit, but it was just like this idea of we don't even exist. We exist as this light and dark dichotomy of like we have a negative word for a phobia of a fear of hate of black people, but white is right and light. So does there really exist this word or this idea or concept, or is it just Urban Dictionary because that's what's wrong?
I believe it's just Urban Dictionary because that word is not found in the dictionary of